10-year-old Alara wasn't like the other kids in her sleepy coastal town of Port Blossom. She saw things, felt things, others didn't. Whispers in the wind, the silent language of trees, the faint shimmer around objects touched by strong emotion. Everyone just called her imaginative. They didn't see the way the wind obeyed her unspoken commands, how wilting flowers perked up under her gaze. Alara herself didn't fully understand it, just accepted it as part of herself, a secret burden and a thrilling gift. A strange, antique music box, wrapped in seaweed and smelling faintly of ozone, washed ashore after a particularly violent storm. It was intricately carved with swirling patterns she felt compelled to trace with her fingers. When she opened it, the melody wasn't tinkling and sweet like the music boxes in her grandmother's attic. It was a low, resonant hum, a vibration that resonated deep within her bones. As the final note faded, the world around her shimmered and dissolved into a kaleidoscope of colors. Towering cliffs of black obsidian rose on either side, framing a crescent of pristine white sand. The air hung heavy with the scent of salt and something ancient, earthy, and reptilian. The waves crashed with a deafening roar, and the sky was a canvas of vibrant, unfamiliar constellations. A rustling in the dense jungle bordering the beach sent a shiver down her spine. A pair of golden eyes glinted from the shadows, followed by the unmistakable snap of a twig. Alara froze, her heart hammering against her ribs. This wasn't even Earth as she knew it. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the jungle. Not a monster, but a girl, maybe a few years older than Alara, with skin the color of polished mahogany and eyes that held the wisdom of centuries. She wore a tunic woven from strange, luminous fibers, and her hair was braided with feathers that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. "You are the weaver," the girl said, her voice surprisingly gentle. "The one prophesied to arrive when the song of time echoes." Alara, bewildered, could only stammer, "Weaver? Song of time? I just opened a music box." "The music box is a key. It opens the way to Aethelgard, the Isle of Echoes." "My name is Lyra, and I have been waiting for you." Lyra explained that Aethelgard was a sanctuary, a pocket of time shielded from the ravages of evolution. Here, creatures thought long extinct roamed free. Majestic triceratops grazed in lush meadows, pterodactyls soared through the crimson sky, and giant dragonflies buzzed through the primeval forests. But Aethelgard was more than just a haven for dinosaurs. It held a secret, an ancient power that was now fading, threatening to unravel the very fabric of the island. It is the heart of Aethelgard, the wellspring of its magic. For centuries, it has been protected by the keepers, my people. But the source is weakening, the song of time is fading, and with it, Aethelgard itself. Their journey was fraught with peril. They navigated treacherous swamps, evaded packs of velociraptors, and witnessed the awe-inspiring power of a territorial Tyrannosaurus. Rex Alara, despite her fear, discovered a strength she never knew she possessed. Her powers, once just a strange quirk, now seemed to be growing, evolving. Lyra, meanwhile, revealed more about the Keepers and their role in maintaining the delicate balance of Aethelgard. She spoke of an ancient prophecy foretelling the arrival of the Weaver, the only one who could restore the source and save the island. But the prophecy also warned of a shadow, a malevolent force that sought to corrupt the source for its own twisted purposes. As they journeyed, they met other inhabitants of Aethelgard, a wise old shaman named Ronan, who lived in a hidden cave adorned with ancient paintings. A gruff but loyal hunter named Kale, who had lost his family to the shadow and was consumed by vengeance. He served as their guide, leading them through the most dangerous parts of the island. Alara quickly learned that the shadow wasn't just a vague threat. It was a tangible force, a creeping darkness that manifested in mutated creatures, corrupted plants, and a chilling presence that permeated the air. They encountered monstrous hybrids, creatures twisted by the shadow's influence, a velociraptor with the wings of a pterodactyl, a triceratops with razor-sharp teeth, a brachiosaurus whose gentle nature had been replaced by savage aggression. It was an exiled keeper, a man named Malcor, who had sought to harness the source for his own personal gain. He had been banished from the keeper village, but he had not given up. He had returned, seeking to corrupt the source and plunge Aethelgard into darkness. "Malcor seeks to rewrite time itself," Kale said, his voice grim. "He believes he can create a world where he is all-powerful, where the keepers are his slaves, and where Aethelgard is his personal kingdom. The path to the source led them through the Valley of Whispers, a place of eerie silence where the very air seemed to hum with unseen energy. Malcor himself appeared, surrounded by his monstrous creations. He was a gaunt, imposing figure, his eyes burning with a fanatical light. "The Weaver?" Malcor sneered, his voice raspy. "I have been expecting you. You cannot stop me. The source will be mine, and Ethelgard will be reborn in my image." A fierce battle ensued. Chaol fought with the ferocity of a cornered lion, protecting Alara and Lyra from the onslaught of mutated creatures. Lyra used her knowledge of the island's terrain to create traps and diversions. She tried to use her powers to reason with him, to show him the error of his ways. But Malcor was too far gone. Consumed by his lust for power, he unleashed a wave of dark energy, attempting to overwhelm her. Alara, however, was stronger than she realized. She tapped into the Song of Time itself, drawing power from the ancient energy that flowed through Aethelgard. She channeled her fear, her anger, and her hope into a surge of pure light, pushing back the darkness. The battle raged, shaking the very foundations of the island. She saw the pain and regret hidden deep within his eyes, the remnants of the man he once was. "It's not too late," she pleaded. "You can still choose a different path." Malcor hesitated, a flicker of doubt crossing his face. But then the shadow reasserted itself, consuming him once more. He lunged at Alara, his eyes filled with hatred. Just as he was about to strike, Chaol intervened. Throwing himself in front of Alara, Malcor's dark energy struck Chaol, mortally wounding him. "Save Aethelgard," Chaol gasped, his voice barely a whisper. Chaol's sacrifice fueled Alara's resolve. She channeled all her remaining energy into a final, desperate act. She didn't attack Malcor. Instead, she focused on the source, on the fading Song of Time. She reached out with her mind, her heart, her very soul, and began to weave a new melody, a song of hope, of healing, of renewal. The source responded, its energy surging back to life. The darkness that had plagued Aethelgard began to recede. The mutated creatures reverted to their original forms, and Malcor, stripped of his power, collapsed to the ground, his eyes filled with remorse. The jungle flourished, the animals thrived, and the Song of Time echoed once more. Malcor, now powerless and filled with regret, was taken back to the Keeper village, where he would face justice for his crimes. Alara, her task completed, knew that her time in Aethelgard was coming to an end. She said goodbye to Lyra, Ronan, and the other keepers, promising to never forget them. She stepped back into the light of the music box, the melody swirling around her. When she opened her eyes, she was back on the beach in Port Blossom, the storm long gone. Had it all been a dream? A figment of her overactive imagination? But then she saw it a single feather, shimmering with an inner light tucked into the pocket of her jacket. A reminder of Aethelgard, of Lyra, of Chaol, of the ancient power that lay dormant within her. Alara knew that she would never be the same. She was the Weaver, the one who had saved Aethelgard, and she knew, with a certainty that resonated deep within her soul, that her journey had just begun. Years passed, Alara grew older, but she never forgot Aethelgard. She practiced her powers, learning to control them, to harness them for good. She knew that one day she would return to Ethelgard, but until then, she would be ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that she carried the Song of Time within her heart. One day, while researching in a dusty, forgotten library, Alara stumbled upon an ancient map. It depicted a constellation she recognized instantly, the same constellation that had shone above Aethelgard. Following the map, she discovered a hidden cove, a place where the veil between worlds was thin.